Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a quick get ready with me, and I'm also going to be catching you up on where I've been over the past couple of months. I know this summer has been very sporadic as far as my uploads go, and I haven't posted anything now in a month, so it's really been not my usual schedule, and I know I've been getting a lot of questions and comments and people wondering if I'm okay, so I just wanted to kind of clear the air on that. At the same time, I'm just going to be getting ready using drugstore products. Some of this is semi-new, but it's all things that I've talked about already. So we're not doing first impressions or anything like that. These are products I've had for a while. So I guess let's just go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to start with one of the new Morphe. I want to call it a paint pot. I know that's MAC, but it's like a paint pot dupe, and this is in the shade Solo Artist. So I've been using these a lot in lieu of my MAC paint pots, and they really perform the same function. They're a cream eyeshadow. They do come in flesh tones mostly, but they're just amazing as an eyeshadow base because they're not overly emollient. They dry down so you can blend eyeshadow on top of them really easily, but also they almost function like a concealer where they just cover up redness or any discoloration that you might have on your lids and just make a really nice base for eyeshadow. And I prefer using this to something like a concealer because concealer tends to crease on me, sometimes even before I can get the eyeshadow on, and this doesn't do that. So it's really just a great base. And then for eyeshadow, I'm also going to be using one from Morphe. This is one of their new palettes, and it's in Rose Frequency. I did share these in a video a while back. I did swatches of all of them. I love this one. I think it's so beautiful. It has a lot of those rosy tones. It has some cool tones mixed with warm, so it's a great mix of color. And I actually think the formula on these is really, really good. So I'm going to pick up this shade right here with the Refer number 15 Mini. So basically, as I've alluded to in other videos, and I know I've talked about it in community posts, I've just been really, really busy this summer. And my son was also home the entire time. He didn't go away to camp. He didn't do anything really. It was just a summer at home. So I kind of felt guilty just coming up here and filming and leaving him by himself and scrolling on his iPad and things like that. You know, I mean, we actually went out and did things. We got together with his friends, went to amusement parks, we went to the movies, we would get together with family. Like sometimes my mom would say, you know, let's go out to lunch or go for a walk or go to the zoo, whatever it was. And, you know, there were days when I felt like I really should just say no and film a video. And then I thought, you know what though, Henry's just going to be sitting around bored downstairs. We should just really go and do all the things. So that's basically what we did. And, you know, obviously I tried to film when I could, but it really was down to like one video a week because by the time I film and then edit, it takes a couple days. And it seemed like every week there were plans coming up. We went to visit friends, we went to visit family. Sometimes it was an overnight trip, sometimes it was a day trip, but it was just a lot of nonstop activity. You know, we went to the Jersey Shore like we do every year for a week as well. So there was that in there. I'm just going to pick up this deeper shade down here. But yeah, I never sat down and said, I'm going to take a break from YouTube or I'm not going to film as much. It just happened that way. I planned on keeping up my normal schedule, and I know I said it a bunch of times in different videos, like I'm going to be getting back to my regular schedule soon, and then I never did. But I think it was just because things kept coming up, and I'm normally never that busy, but it was just kind of the way that it worked out. So I'm not complaining at all. It was actually a great summer. And I saw this quote the other day, and it's so true that you know your kids for way longer when they're adults than you do when they're kids. And if you think about it, they're only kids for a decade, maybe a little more than that. And the rest of the time, they're grown up. And my son is 12 right now, and I know pretty soon he's going to be a teenager. He's not even going to want to hang out with me. He's just going to want to go off with his friends and do things. And the fact that he does still want to do stuff, you know, like we went hiking together, we went to the beach, to theme parks. Like I said, we did so many fun things, and I feel really blessed and grateful that he wants to hang out with me. So the whole time I kept thinking like, yes, I could film a video, but I just don't want to, miss out on this time with him. And now he's back in school, so I have all day, every day to myself. And it's kind of bittersweet because I do miss him. Like, I miss my walking buddy. We used to go out for walks every night, or we'd go hiking at state parks and things like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's not as fun by yourself. So I do miss him being around, but at the same time, it is nice to have my time back and just pick back up some of those Netflix series that I was watching at the beginning of the summer and I never got a chance to finish. Stuff like that. And obviously just doing this and filming and doing some of the things that I love. So like I said, it's bittersweet, but it was definitely a really fun summer and I enjoyed every minute of it. So now we're back in school mode, homework, and packing lunches late at night, getting up early, which is so hard for me. And getting back on that schedule has been a nightmare because now that Henry's older, over the summer he was staying up later, he was sleeping in really late till 9 or 10 o'clock every morning. And I felt like I was kind of getting back into that routine as well. So having to adjust back to that 6:30 wake up has been really hard because I can't fall asleep before midnight and I'm up that early. I'm exhausted, but hopefully I'll get right back into that routine really easily too. By the way, this is the Moira Micro Tip Liquid Liner. So like I said, it hasn't been any dramatic reason. I know I saw so many conspiracy theories about me online in general, like on Reddit, on Facebook, all these different places. I saw people thinking that I might be sick or that my skin cancer came back or that something was wrong with my son. It was just like a lot of different things thrown out there. And I was like, I have to get online and just say something because I just don't want anyone to really worry, especially because it's not like me to just disappear and not say anything. And I didn't want to be that person either. But also, you guys know I am more of a private person. I don't really talk about my personal life very much. And even when I do, it's mostly about me and what I'm doing. But I never feel like I can talk about other people in my life, whether it's within my household, whether it's, extended family, my parents, siblings, all of that. It's like, if anything is going on with anybody, it's not my place to share that with the world. So there are always going to be things that I can't really talk about. By the way, I'm going to be using the Wrap Lash Mascara from Makeup Revolution. But yeah, as far as me and my health and all of that, I'm totally fine. Everything is great. I really do appreciate all of the concern though, just that people are out there, wondering and worrying if I'm okay. That was just really nice. So I definitely appreciated it. And I did leave a post over on my community tab, just kind of letting everybody know that I was okay, but I know that not everybody reads those, and I'm pretty sure you can't even see them if you're viewing on an iPad, I think it was. I think someone told me that once, that the community posts don't even show on iPads. I don't know if that's something that's been updated recently, but I know some of you don't get those notices. So one other thing that I also mentioned in that post was about a video that I posted, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. I know, like, if you look at my page, it says that the last video I posted was a month ago, but I actually posted something more recently and I had to take it down because of some negative comments that I was getting on the video. And that was another thing that kind of just made me want to take a pause for a little bit. So what happened was I was reviewing a bunch of new products, things that were not first impressions. I had tried them all already. And I was wearing one of the new Huda Beauty lip stains, like the markers that she has. And I've been wearing those a lot and really enjoying them because they aren't drying like a lot of the lip markers normally are. But for that video, I decided to wear one of them and I put a lip oil on top, which is something I don't normally do or even have to do, but I usually get self-conscious about my lips on camera because I always feel like they tend to look dry because they have a lot of lines in them. So usually I'll put on a lip balm or a lip gloss, just something to kind of smooth all of that out. So I wore the lip stain and I decided to put this lip oil on top. And I really shouldn't have chosen a lip oil because, as we know, oil breaks down pigment. It's what you remove makeup with. So basically what happened is the lip product I was wearing under the oil, the lip stain, started to break up. And I didn't really realize that while I was filming. I can't see in the viewfinder, it's too far away to be able to see, you know, what was happening on my lips. And then when I went to actually edit the video, I did notice that my lips looked patchy, but at that point I was anxious to just put up a video because it had already been 2 weeks since I filmed one. So I thought, you know, I don't want to go too long without a new video. So I'm just going to publish it anyway, and hopefully nobody will notice. For foundation, I'm just going to be wearing the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Essence, and this is in the shade, I can't even read this, light medium. So anyway, yeah, I just figured I'll publish the video. Nobody's going to care about my lips, but people did. And almost right away, I started getting comments saying, you know, why are you giving that lip stain a good review? Because obviously it looks super patchy on your lips. And I was trying to explain back that it normally doesn't look patchy. It's actually a really nice lip stain. It was just because I put a lip oil on top. But I felt like I had to keep giving that response to everyone who made that same comment. And then I ended up pinning a comment to the top saying, you know, explaining what happened and why my lips looked patchy like that. And nobody really read it because the comments just kept coming in. And it wasn't even just about the patchiness, it was also the color that I had used was like this brown, and it was a darker brown than I'm used to wearing. And it was just one of those things where I felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna go outside of my comfort zone. I think I had a gold eyeshadow look, and I thought, let me just do more of like a bolder, more like brown, like pinky brown lip. And I know it was definitely a deeper color than you guys are normally used to seeing me wear, but the comments that were coming in were just like, they were mean. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They ranged from, you know, the type where they're like trying to be helpful and just like, you know, that lip color doesn't really do you any favors kind of thing, or, you know, you probably should stay away from browns like that, all the way just up to, you know, that lipstick looks horrendous, what made you wear that, you know. So the comments were just brutal, honestly. And it's funny because YouTubers as a whole, we get kind of ragged on for always wearing neutrals and always, you know, wearing just like really basic, boring colors. And then when you go outside of your comfort zone and try to do something a little bit different, then everybody hates it, you know? So I just started to get really frustrated that night as the comments kept coming in. I think I kept the video up for maybe like an hour, and then I just said, you know what, I'm done. And I just took it down. So that's what happened to that video. If you saw it come up and then it disappeared and you're wondering where it was, that's what happened to that. By the way, for lips and cheeks, I'm going to use the new ColourPop Hydra Pop lip stain, and this is in the shade Mantra. So I do like to use these on my cheeks as well. I feel like they work out really well for that. But anyway, yeah, I haven't had negativity like that in a really long time. I feel like my channel's always very positive for the most part. I do get negative comments here and there, which is expected. And believe me, I do not mind constructive criticism. If someone wants to say something helpful, that is totally fine. But to tell someone you don't like the lip color that they chose, when obviously they chose it, so they must have liked it, it's just not helpful and it's not necessary. So I think I just needed a little bit of time to kind of just take a breather. And at that point I figured, school's starting in 2 weeks, I'm just gonna kind of enjoy what's left of the summer, and then I'll come back, and by that point hopefully that'll all be forgotten, you know? So anyway, that's where I've been. Like I said, not a lot of drama happening, but I definitely did get a lot of PR in this summer, lots of new things that I just haven't had the chance to try out on camera yet. So I have my work cut out for me, let's put it that way. I definitely have some videos to catch up on and no shortage of ideas or anything like that. And I'm just excited to get back into it, excited to just be here again and start filming again. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was just, like I said, a really quick get ready with me. Here's the final look. Nothing too dramatic, but just typical of what I would wear just every day. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all being here, and I promise not to disappear on you anytime soon. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Take care. Bye.